do believe in the sanctity of life. And I think that's why I felt, along with so many other Americans, joy, unfortunately, because it
Joy?
feels like,
Seriously?
I mean,
joy
I
at a
guess I would
man's
say
execution?
maybe not joy, but certainly not empathy. Because again,
We're
this is a
watching
man
the footage.
responsible for
How can this make you joyful? This guy's a
So
husband,
here's-
he's a father,
like billions,
and he's being gunned down in the middle of Manhattan. Why does that make you
thousands
joyful?
of Americans that be murdered. So are the tens of thousands of Americans, innocent Americans who died because greedy health insurance executives like this one push policies of denying care to the most vulnerable people. And the many millions of Americans that have watched people that I care about suffer and in some cases die because of lack of health care.
So should they all be killed then?
Yeah, exactly.
Should they all be killed, these healthcare executives? Would that make you even more joyful?
No, that would not.
But why not?
And,
why are you laughing?
I think because it wouldn't fix the
You seem
system.
to find the whole thing hilarious.
I find your question
A
funny.
bloke's being murdered in the street. I don't find it funny at all.
I don't find it funny that tens of thousands of Americans die every year and because they are denied life-saving health care from people like this CEO.
She looks
Now, I want to
crazy.
fix the system.
Taylor Lorenz. And do you know what happened on Jon Stewart's show?
What?
Rob, you might be able to find this. Jon Stewart mentions this guy, the killer getting arrested, and the audience started booing. Like his entire audience was pissed off that this guy's caught and he's arrested. That's the left. That is this ideology. She has joy for a guy getting murdered in the streets of New York. Like these people, they can't help themselves, Pat. And you know what?
Are you joking? They're celebrating that.
Listen to the audience.
Can you play
listen to
this,
the
Rob?
audience?
Actually, obviously couldn't have been that guy. Today, they did appear to catch that guy today at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania. It's true.
Booze.
Look, I'm sorry, guys.
What are you booing? No.
There's some claps.
Yeah,
There's
three
some
people
claps.
clapped and a lot of people booed.
Couple
Mm-hmm.
boos.
Oh,
Zoom in
to
see he apologized. Jon Stewart apologized to his
Yeah, exactly.
audience once they started booing after he says Luigi Maggiore was captured. It's a murderer. Do not apologize. What's going on?
You know what my thing is about? When people reveal who they are, believe them.
And completely out of touch and insult the intelligence of the American people.
Would have been nice if they wrote what he said. He was screaming about the injustice of our healthcare pricing and how it is offensive to people's lived experience. And what he didn't say is that he's innocent. And forget the fact that when he sees the cameras, he's like a tiger, but he was a pussy cat when it was just him and the officers. The message he hissed should be heard. Healthcare so expensive, so easily denied that it offends people's lived experience with oppressive health insurance. But how would he know? He had a bad back and a surgery, but there's no reason to believe he was left broke or broken by a horror story with an insurance company. His lived experience was making money off healthcare. His family owned nursing homes that made them rich. 7-figure donations to hospitals, paid for him to go to the Ivy League, to live in Hawaii, to create his best life. My point is not to diminish the outrage about healthcare, or even to diminish him, but to source where what we're seeing with him comes from. You see, this guy is part of a problem that is harder to fix than healthcare or any corporate issue. He is proof of a new fundamentalism. Appropriated oppression. In this case, the anger of those who get done dirty by big health insurers. And he's not alone. He reminds me of white kids I've seen turning protests about police using excessive force into riots, or more recently, like the kids on campus wearing the Hamas headgear. There is a new wave of people right here who have decided the best way to address perceived injustice is to pretend to inhabit the victim role, as if they live it, which they don't. The problem with that is the pretend leads them too often to the extreme, where they are not the change agents, but proof of what needs to change. They become what they say they oppose. There are many causes of this, but a primary one is our toxic political party wars. This is an outgrowth of empowering fringe thinking, what the left and right have been stoking for years, both of them, especially online. Get angry, get even, own them. Hard to find a podcast that isn't desperately imploring people to reject everything in society, except what they're saying, of course. Even the manifesto of this assassin manifests the weakness of the assassin's own choices. He identifies problems with transparency and pricing irregularities and profits over people in healthcare and health insurance. Yes, true. Too often, true. Of course, many industries do this. But healthcare matters more than just about any other industry because it can literally be life or death. The problem is real. Obama tried to address it with the ACA. It's interesting. Trump wants to disrupt everything, right? You can get off that now. Yet, even he never goes after the big insurers. We know why. They get what they want. But the idea that you change something that is bad by doing something worse, now you don't have to be a genius with an Ivy League pedigree to know that that is stupid.